Hey guys, it's Courtney. I am live. Happy Monday. How are you? As you're hopping in, let me know that you're watching me live. This is DDOA. We have an awesome DDOA for today. Okay, so as you guys hop in, say hello. Love to give you a shout out. And just want to ask, who is excited about Vegas? So excited to be able to meet you guys. And but have a really cool topic today that I wanted to talk to you about. So I was actually running up and down the stairs with my toddler, so I'm a little out of breath right now. So here is the question that I have for you today. Do you ever feel scared about really making changes in your marketing? Hey, Lisa. Hey, Thomas. Thanks for hopping in. How are you guys? And I want to talk about, hey, Ray, how are you? Some trends that I've seen that are really interesting that I kind of want to talk to you about, and I want to see if this has happened to you inside of your own marketing, and really talk to you about that. So here's the question that I have today. Do you ever feel scared about making a change, whether it's to an ad or to a funnel or any of that? And even though you kind of know that you need to make a change, right? So is there something in the back of your mind that's saying, I really need to make a change, but I'm just not able to, or I feel stuck, or I kind of feel frozen? I've definitely had that feeling. So drop me a 1 if you've ever felt that in your marketing, where you want to make a change, but you're not sure that you can, or you're not sure that you know how to. So I want to talk to you about that today. So here is what I've seen on fast track calls, on VIP calls, on mentorship calls. And what I've really seen is this trend where, people have, let's say they have an ad in market and it's just like, okay, right? They're getting results, but they might not be getting the results that they really want to be getting. So what's kind of happening in that space, right? People might be a little bit confused. They're not sure what to do next. And I've seen this happen. And I've seen people run ads for months and months and still not get the results they want. And here's the caveat to all of that. First of all, you definitely, if your ad is new in market, let's say you place an ad and it's, 1, 2, 3 weeks old, right? You're still, Facebook is still collecting that data, right? So they're still determining whether that ad is working, whether it's not. Hey, Tina, how are you? Thanks for jumping on. And so my point is, you need to be able to give it some time, first of all, right? I mean, the 3,000 reach is really like a minimum, right? To tell if something is working. Now, you also want to make tweaks to your ads, right? So if something's not working initially, you want to give it some time. You want to make a few small calculated changes, whether that's to headlines or to images, etc. So really important that you do that. But for our purposes today, I'm really talking about people that have had ads running for months and months and they're not seeing the results that they want to see. So guys, drop me a 2 if that's you, if you've ever done that. I know that I've done that, and I want to give you some tips around how you can avoid that, and also some kind of mindset stuff around that. So I call it hey Brian, how are you? I call it the what if factor. So it's the idea that, what if it works at some point, right? What if you've had it in for months and all of a sudden Facebook decides that they want to pick it up and the algorithm is going to get better and things are going to get easier and they're just going to pick it up, right? Or what if you think, okay, the ad just needs more social proof in order for it to take off, right? And I've also had that feeling too, it just needs more social proof. And what if you think it's bringing in leads, but it's not bringing in any sales? So obviously if leads is your goal, then you're accomplishing your goal, right? But for most of us in EMP, we're looking to not only bring leads into our business and for a network marketing business, but also to make sales, right? So that we can, make money as we're bringing in leads, right? So the idea that stuff is all of a sudden going to work is probably not the best strategy. Would you guys agree? Drop me a 3 if you agree with that. I would love for this to be super interactive. Let me know what you think as we kind of go through the content. But So, the kind of the all of a sudden Facebook is just going to pick it up after months of marketing is probably not going to be the case. So I want to give you some strategies to think about how you want to, think about making changes. And the first thing is to really take the emotion out of it. Now, I think that this is pretty critical. And taking the emotion out of something that you've done and something that you've produced is actually very difficult to do. It's very difficult to do, right? Because we've poured time into it. We've poured money into, money into the budget. We're proud of the work that we've done, right? So I feel like that sometimes makes it harder for people to shift or to make a change. And here's what I'm going to say about that. You can actually, if you take the emotion out of it and let the market determine what's happening with your ad, you're going to be in a much better spot, right? So it's almost this situation where you it's like a relief, sort of. Once you've done your part and placed your ad, then it's up to the market to determine whether that ad is actually working or not, right? So that's really, really critical to think about. And, you want to let the numbers and the metrics, they're going to tell you a story, right? So you want that to guide your experience, and you want that to, be the reason that, that you're marketing in general. So, actually I have my 2-year-old with me here now. So, a few other things. Get excited about what can really happen in your business. So, think about, give me 1 second, you guys. Okay, totally apologize. So get excited about what could happen. Think about how much time you spend worrying about what's already in market, and think about ways that you can devote to spending time on something that's new. So think about what your goal really is. Is it to make sales inside your business? And if it is, that's, you could have the best ad in market ever, and it could have the most social proof ever, but if it's not getting you the results that you want to have, then you need to make some kind of shift, right? So the next thing, tip number 3, is to evaluate where the gaps are in your process. So if your ad is getting leads, but it's not getting any sales, what's sort of happening? Drop me a comment. Let me know what you think is happening in that situation. Okay, maybe some people can hop on in here and let me know. But basically the ad is working, right? If you're getting leads, but if you're not making sales or something, there's some kind of breakdown in the process, in the funnel probably, right? So here's a suggestion for you. Go through your entire funnel, go through it multiple times. So whether it's a breakdown in the ad or the breakdown in the funnel, think about where that breakdown is. And what I do in my own process is I go through the funnel over and over again. And what happens, or I go through my webinar over and over again. And what I come to is a few spots where I really have problems, or I feel like, that seems a little bit off, right? And I keep going through my process, and that same thing keeps kind of happening, keeps occurring. I'm like, that sentence doesn't sound right, or that piece in the funnel doesn't seem right to me. And what you're doing is actually looking through the filter of your prospect and determining how they're seeing your process. And if you do that, you'll really have an ability to be able to, go through your process and find out where the real breakdowns are. And it could be really subtle, right? Obviously metrics are not subtle, but things like funnels and you can have a very small window of, oh, well, this sentence doesn't really make a lot of sense in my thank you video. Maybe I need to redo it. Stuff like that. So find the subtleties in your marketing too. That's really, really critical. And the chances are you guys already know where the breakdowns are or where the problems are. And if you don't know, you can obviously find where those problems are, right? And that's a good strategy to really do that. Okay. My 4th tip is test. So sometimes we think it's really sort of scary to abandon an ad. And here's my recommendation. You don't necessarily have to stop an ad. Like, so think about that. You could have your ad in place that's just doing okay, right? And instead of turning it off, just create something that's totally new. So create an ad, change the copy or rewrite the copy, do a new image with a new headline. And then what you can do is go back into Ads Manager once you have enough data for both ads and just look at actually look at the line items in Ads Manager, right? And determine which one is doing better. Like which one has a better click-through rate, which has a better relevance score, is your cost per lead higher on one or the other? And actually make a determination about what's happening, right? Because sometimes we think it's scary to turn off a strategy that we've been working on for a very long time. And you don't necessarily have to abandon the strategy, right? You can put a new one in and then evaluate it in terms of what's working and what's not working. And when you're testing, you want to make sure, let's say you're tweaking one ad, you want to make sure that you're tweaking one particular thing. So you absolutely know where the change is attributed to. And then tip number 5, evaluate when to abandon a strategy and when to start a new one. So this is what I've seen with most successful marketers out there is that, they don't want to, a lot of times we think we don't want to give up on a strategy, it's failing to give up, or we don't want to do that. And that's a completely normal feeling. But if you can reduce the amount of time it takes for you to abandon one strategy and move on to the other, the more effective you will be. So obviously, before you abandon a strategy, I would definitely have something, evaluate it, make sure that it's not working, and then maybe put another version in that, you've learned from, you've gotten the data, maybe it wasn't what you wanted, but find ways to be able to improve that. And the amount of time that you can sort of, when you can reduce that amount of time, let's say it's within an hour versus within 2 or 3 weeks, the more often times you'll, be successful. And once you reduce that amount of time. And then the last tip is don't wait for permission, you guys. So don't wait for the next fast track call or, the next strategy call with somebody to really put something out there and test it. Because I've seen a lot of people that are a little bit scared and they need sort of a green light from somebody. And I used to be that way. I used to call Fernie and be like, should I do this? Should I not do this? And the point is only the marketplace will determine what's happening, right? Even the gurus, even the people that have really done well in the space can't tell you if it's going to work or not work. So take that and, don't wait for permission and just go and test and go see what's working, what's not working. And you're going to get data from all of that. Even if it totally flops and falls on its face. I just tried something a strategy that was really out of the box. And I thought it would be, amazing. I had not seen it in my newsfeed before. It totally bombed, right? But at least you have the data and then you can take that data and move on to something new. Guys, I hope it was helpful. I'm sorry I had a 2-year-old interrupting Daily Dose of Awesome today, but I will talk to you soon. And if you guys are going to Vegas, drop Vegas. Really excited to meet everybody. And I will also say this, if you have any questions, drop those below. And my door is always open. So if you guys have questions, would totally be happy to talk to you. So talk to you soon. Have a good day. Bye.